What up, YouTube? It's your boy ATrueHero, and today I'm here with a top 16 deck profile that I recently got for Beak 6, and I played the classic Diva Hero. A true hero's back, no longer a true villain. So as my fans who've been following me, I recently got top 4 at YCS Sacramento with Black Wings, but today I'm bringing you guys a spicy Diva Hero list. So let's get right into the video. So of course, Diva Hero is nothing without the boss monsters, Triple Caius, all right? I'm a firm believer in playing this card at 3 because it's so easy to bring out in Diva Hero. And also I have quite a few new different ways to bring it out that I'm gonna talk about soon. But anyway, this is a mini boss monster and it clears a lot of problematic cards, Vanity's Fiend, Royal Oppression, etc. Just general removal for dark monsters. If you burn someone with 1,000 and then swing for 24, that's 34. That's already pretty much half their life points. This card is insane and definitely should be played at 3. Some lists play 2, and in my opinion, that's wrong. So anyway, Triple Caius, and of course, the big daddy himself, right? Dark Arm Dragon. Gotta love him. I mean, any deck that plays a majority of dark monsters should be playing this card. If you drop this card, likely you're just going to win the game. So we have the one Dark Arm, Gorus, of course, Diva Hero, 5 out of 5 in offensive stats, but like 1 out of 5 when it comes to defensiveness. So Gorus helps kind of mitigate Diva Hero's weaknesses because you always play with like an open board. In my opinion, that's the best way the deck is played, however. But it's similar in the sense of like Hero Frogs, because Hero Frogs also often plays with open board. So when I'm just drawing and passing, it looks like I don't have anything, and my opponent will attack and swing into my open board, and I'll drop Gorus and quickly pull out a reversal. So Gorus, great card. Of course, Strizzy, Elemental Hero Stratos. This guy stares at me in the face every single time I play Black Wings. He's like, why didn't you choose me? He's the best starter of the deck. The card is just too good. So double Mali, we have double Malicious. He's great. I always draw him in my hand, unfortunately, but you need him because he allows the deck to make level 8 synchro plays. He also is fodder for Caius. Great card. And this is a card that has not been used in any hero deck, in any Edison deck, maybe more than 10 years. I'm the first person to talk with this guy. Now, you probably can't read it because it's in Korean, because IRL, I don't have this card. It's back home. So in Korea, I got to use the cards that I have. But this is Diamond Dude, all right? So a lot of you may not know what Diamond Dude does, despite having a deck named after him, Diamond Dude Turbo. So pretty much he's a D hero. That's his main role in the deck, is being a Destiny hero. But his effect is once per turn, you can reveal or evacuate the top card of your deck. And if it's a normal spell, then you can play it on the following turn. So it's really good because Diva Hero plays a lot of broken normal spell cards. So he's just fits in with the deck perfectly. He's also 14, so he gets under Bottomless, which is really relevant. And yeah, Diamond Dude. I won a set with Diamond Dude's effect by himself. I hit like a brain control, and my opponent couldn't really summon a monster on the board after that. So later, I'm actually going to upload my replays. So stay tuned for that, and you'll see how Diamond Dude just pro'd out my opponent. But anyway, Destiny Hero Diamond Dude. Next up, we have another Destiny Hero that hasn't seen play in more than 10 years. And this guy is Destiny Hero Defender. So once again in Korean, because IRL, I don't have an English one. But Defender, what he does is during your opponent's standby phase, if he's in face-up defense mode, your opponent draws an extra card during that phase, during the standby phase. So it's very important because a lot of people were misreading this, even though, of course, in Dueling Book, it's in English. And they were trying to draw during my standby phase, which is not the case. Now, the reason why this effect is relevant is because, one, with Defender, he has a defense of 2,700. So your opponent will like run into it and it'll take a lot of life point damage. And what you're supposed to do is quickly convert it. So how do you convert Defender? Easily. You convert Defender with Caius, right? This is one of the ways I was talking about. You can summon Caius easier. You can convert it with Caius. You convert it with Miracle Fusion, or you can even convert it with a tuner, such as Diva or Plague. So Destiny Hero Defender, also a Destiny hero. So if you notice, I upped the Destiny hero count in my deck. So you can kind of guess which spell card that I'm playing, right? With the extra Destiny heroes. But anyway, Defender, a great card, often overlooked, and now it gives Diva Hero more of that defensive edge that I said it was missing earlier, right? So now we not only have Gores with an attack of 27, but we have Defender, defend my life points. And that's exactly what he does, right? Defensive 27. So Defender, definitely he played well throughout the entire event. Loved him. Next up, we have my girl, Deep Sea Diva, at 3, of course. Deep Sea Diva, she's a diva. She's, of course, the main water monster of the deck. I mean, it's called Diva Hero, so there would be no Diva Hero without Deep Sea Diva. Great card. And, of course, we have our other waters, Treeborn and Spine Gilman. So Diva gets Gilman, obviously standard play. And Treeborn, I mean, you're playing triple Caius, right? And people often say that Treeborn is not like a great draw. Of course, you don't want to draw Treeborn, but it's not the end of the world because, once again, Treeborn pairs with Caius. So Treeborn is a great card. And you, even by itself, you can do, like, tricks because we'll get into it when I get into my spells that I play, but I play Econ and Treeborn Econ. You've seen this play a lot in Frogs. It's really good. You just get a free monster. And a lot of times he just provides that defense that you need. Just sit on a Treeborn and it can hold it down more times than you think. Plague, Prodigy, Sangan, Greffer. And that rounds out the monsters. So this is the last hero that we play. So in previous Diva Hero builds, people are playing double Prodigy. I'm a fan. I really do like double Prodigy. But at the end of the day, if you're going to make room for Destiny Draw, which we're going to talk about very soon, you got to cut down on the other heroes, right? So I had to cut down a Prodigy to make room for Defender and Diamond Dude. And of course, Sangan, Plague, these are standard. They should be played in all Diva Heroes decks. And Dark Greffer. I've gone on the record many times talking about Dark Greffer versus Armageddonite. I do think in a vacuum, Greffer is better because he can play out the double malicious hands. And also, like, Armageddonite, he's a great card. But Armageddonite plays into pulling the rug, right? And people think Diva Hero loses to pulling the rug. I'm going to tell you guys that is not true. Like, of course, it's not good to get rugged when you're playing Diva Hero. But if you think you're going to win a set against Diva Hero because you dropped the rug, like, that's just not the case. But anyway, Armageddonite is another, like, rug target. So that's one reason why I don't play it. It's also another deck Devi target, too, right? You can't deck Devi Greffer. So when you look at this deck, like, it can definitely get hit hard by Deck Devastation Virus. So that's another reason why I don't play Armageddonite. And just also just sending just a Plague, something just malicious, it's not a strong enough play. Greffer, you can really push for OTKs. So that's why I choose to play the one Greffer over Armageddonite. But of course, there have been recent Diva Hero builds that play like Necro and Armageddonite, and they've been doing quite well. But those are just two cards that get hit by Deck Devi. So you kind of really wanted to mitigate on the weakness of Deck Devastation Virus. So that's why I play Greffer. But yeah, that's the monster roundup. And let's move on to the spells. So next up, Diva Hero, we have the spells. Now, a Diva Hero deck would be nothing without its spells. Let's talk about just the generic spells. I'm a big fan of Gold Sark. Every time I've topped with Diva Hero, I've always played this card. I'm a firm believer that decks that play Future Fusion should be playing Gold Sark. So for example, Dragons, they play Future Fusion. They also play Gold Sark, right? Because you want to search out your broken one-ofs. And Future Fusion is so good. So with the exception of Frogs, but I mean, Frogs, I don't really consider a Future Fusion deck, though some builds do play it. Every deck that's playing Future Fusion plays Gold Sark because you want to see it as soon as possible. And you don't only search out Future Fusion, right? Dark Arm, Brain Control, Diva if needed. It's a shame that like I have to start for a Diva sometimes when Diva's at 3, but sometimes like you just need to start for a 3-of and I feel terrible. Speaking of 3-ofs, we have the 3 Christmas Miracle Fusions, okay? As you can see, I don't have max rarity cards. If anyone wants to donate to a True Hero, all right, he's not going to complain. All right, if someone wants to send some higher rarity cards my way, you know, I'd be pretty happy about that. But anyway, yeah, so we have Triple Miracle Fusion. This card's great. Obviously, banishing your heroes and waters. I have an abundance of now. Now, because of the extra heroes that I added to the deck, I never have a game where it's like I don't have enough heroes, right? So Miracle Fusion, it's the best top deck in the deck. You can completely pull reversals with just this one card. Bring out Absolute Zero, your boss monster, broken. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Next up, we have Mind Control, Econ, and Brain Control. So we're just a firm believer of taking our opponent's monsters and using them for our own bidding. So, I mean, we play Triple Diva, so it's very easy to convert monsters that we take from our opponents. Not to mention Triple Caius. With Triple Diva, Triple Caius, and even Triple Miracle Fusions, because a lot of times we take cards that can be used with Miracle Fusion, like Heroes or Waters. Like it's very easy to convert the cards that we take with these 3 cards. So when your opponent plays Brain Control against you, you just feel awful. Now imagine if your opponent can take 3 monsters from you. So these 3 are just so good. I'm in love with Econ. This is a card that's even played in modern format, which just goes to show you how powerful it is. Mind Control, when you set your monsters, you feel safe, and then you get them taken from you. You can Mind Control Raikos and Hamsters, and it gets really dark for your opponent. Next up, we have the Destruction, MST, Heavy Storm. Pretty standard, pretty staple. Not much to say there. I have heard that a recent Diva Hero list has gone around, and that person believes you should not play MST just because it's a staple. I completely disagree, because one, you want to MST problematic cards like Royal Oppression. Some Blackwing decks do not main deck Royal Oppression anymore, same with Bayou, but there's still other essential cards you want to hit. They're all playing Whirlwind, you want to hit Whirlwind. They're all playing Torrential, you want to hit Torrential. There's just so many impactful cards outside of just Royal Oppression that you want to hit with MST. So if your opponent's back rows are clear, you're free to go for your OTKs. So you should definitely be playing MST and both Heavy Storm. Like, the cards are too good. There's a reason why they're both limited cards. Rhoda, of course. Rhoda for Stratos or Grepher. And also, you can Rhoda for your heroes, such as your Defender or Diamond Dude. And that comes in handy when you want to play D-Draw, the classic card. So now that I've upped my hero count, I can finally play D-Draw. If you know, it's a Korean D-Draw. But anyway, there's so many targets. It's so easy to resolve D-Draw now that I've upped the Destiny hero count. You have Defender, you have Double Malicious, you have Diamond Dude, you have your search cards, you have Rhoda. I mean, worst comes to worst, you can Sark for a D-Draw. And so it's very easy to resolve this card. It's not going to be sitting in your hand much longer. And open up Stratos D-Draw, it just feels so good. It just feels so good. And that's not our only draw card. Of course, we have the Allure, Fufu, Future Fusion. I can't pronounce this. It's German, Alti, so good luck trying to say that. This was a birthday present, so shout out to OG, Gary Yu, you know, RBT Maryland champion. I don't know where Maryland is on the map, you know, little inside joke. But anyway, yeah. So he gifted this to me. Future Fusion, absolutely broken card. If you open up with Future Fusion and like a tuner, good luck to your opponent. Like, good luck. And last but not least, Creature Swamp. So also Korean as well. So Creature Swamp was a card that I tried out because the deck plays so many like baby monsters. So my theory was like I can Creature Swamp like a Treeborn, right? So going up here with these 3 cards, right? My theory was like I can Creature Swamp like a Treeborn and give you a Treeborn, or even like one combo that like it doesn't come up often, but it can come up, is like Creature Swamping my Defender, and then on my turn I get to draw an extra card, right? Because they don't want to keep it in attack mode because they'll take too much life point damage, and they don't want to keep it in defense mode because then I get to draw an extra card. So Creature Swamp was definitely like an experimental card. To be honest, I didn't like it. And oftentimes I sided it out. So this card can kick rocks. It has its merits, but at the end of the day, I just think the deck would do without it. People always ask, oh, what would you change? If you could change anything in your deck, what would you change? Easily, I would swap this out for Solemn Judgment. So with that said, I'm going to go on to the last part of the main deck, which are the traps. So Diva Hero is not a deck that's known for playing many traps. It's just pretty much all staples. We have the Dust Shoot, the Return, the Broken. If you're not playing Return in Diva Hero, like, what are you doing? Torrential, Broken, it's a board wipe. Mirror Force, same thing, board wipe. Double Bottomless, love-hate this card. Because obviously if you bottomless at the right time, it's amazing. But then there are so many times where it's like you pull a bottomless after your opponent already has an established board and it just doesn't do anything. So love-hate relationship. You need it because it really hedges against your weak matchups like Gladiator Beast, which is what took me out in top 16, and also Blackwing, so great card. And last but not least, the Deck Devi. I've been known to play this card for a long time. If anyone ever Deck Devis you, just know the reason why they're main decking Deck Devi, whether they admit it or not, is because of a true hero. I was the first person to top a major event with this card main deck. The very first one, okay? Which was Nationals, where I got second place. Not this most recent one, but the first one. The first Edison Nationals where I got second place. And I main decked DVD, and then after that, everybody started copying me. Now, granted, at that time, I was main decking it in Diva Hero, and I was not the first one to main deck it in like Black Wings or Bayou Turbo or something like that. But still, I was the first one to main it, and then after that, everyone was like, "Oh wow, DDV is a good card. Why don't I main deck it?" Yeah, of course. So anyway, those are the traps. Like I said, the only change I would make to the main deck is just dropping this Creature Swamp and replacing it with Solemn Judgment. So in total, the main deck is 41 cards. So with that out the way, let's get into the extra inside deck. So we can go over the extra deck really quickly because that's going to be the fastest thing, right? The extra deck, nothing special. It's just standard, right? Chimera Tech, so obviously that means I'm siding Cyber Dragon, right? The 000, Red Dragon Archfiend. A lot of people don't really have this card in their extra deck. It does come up situationally. I like it. It could easily be like a Mistworm, but I do like Red Dragon because sometimes this effect is quite relevant, especially when you're going up against decks that like the spam tokens, and also just base 3000 is like quite strong. So sometimes you might need it for like random OTKs. It's a good card. I like it, but if people choose not to play it, I can understand why. Colossal, Thought Ruler, Dark End, great card. Stardust, Black Rose. As you can see, all low rarity cards. So once again, if anyone wants to donate to updating a ATrueHero's deck, like I'm not gonna say no. All right. Goyu, Brio, Android, Catastor, Army Arms, all just basic staple extra cards. And the MVP, the Ernie token. All right. So as you know, Ernie is a Edison YCS champion. He won with Bayou Turbo. I got a chance to meet him for the first time at YCS Sacramento, and he gifted me this. All right. So shout outs to Ernie. Great player, great guy. Actually, I loved hanging out with him. Unfortunately, we did have to play in top 8 at YCS Sacramento, and I was the one who defeated him in that tournament. So he got top 8 and I got top 4. But anyway, shout outs to Ernie the GOAT. Great guy, and I was happy to get to meet him. So instead of dropping a Gore's token, I'm just going to drop an Ernie token on you. All right. So anyway, that completes the extra deck. So now, last but not least, we're going to go into the side deck to complete the deck. Now, the side deck, I had a lot of spice. So first of all, Skill Drain. Now, Skill Drain, this is a card that is not seen much in the Edison meta, but it works great because you can pair with cards like Destiny Hero Defender, right? So once again, just showcasing Defender's usefulness, right? So Skill Drain and Defender, this is actually a really hard combination out because now he sits with a 27 wall, and on your opponent's standby phase, they do not draw a card because his effect's negated. So like, how are you going to out this? It's just 27 wall just sitting there under Skill Drain. No monster effects. It's like he's really hard to get over. Defender Skill Drain, like you're going to draw like a couple turns. So this wound up working, pairing together like quite nicely. So Skill Drain. And Skill Drain also pairs with, so we're just going to jump to this guy, also in my side deck, Barbie, the Barbie doll, okay? So we got Beast King Barbaros. You can just summon him right out the gate, 3000 with Skill Drain on the board. So that is like absolutely like amazing. Skill Drain shuts down like obviously decks that like to set monsters because now they don't have effects. So good against Bayou Turbo. Okay against GBs. Like, so I lost once again in GBs against top 16, and it was like absolutely wild because my ending board was Stardust Skill Drain. Tell me how a GB player gets out of Stardust Skill Drain. It doesn't make sense. But like he was able to do it because he had like Trap Stun. Now, why do you keep Trap Stun against Diva Hero, like a deck that like often sides Rule Decree? Doesn't make any sense. But anyway, it worked out for him. Like, so props to him. Great player. But yeah, Skill Drain Beast King, great card. Skill Drain, great card in the meta. And Diva Hero, like it doesn't hurt them. I can summon Zero, I get my effect. I can summon Stardust, I get my effect. I can summon Colossal Fighter, I get my effect. Like Skill Drain's like it's really, really, really strong. Even if I just drop like a raw Dark Arm, 2800 beat stick, like great card, doesn't really hurt Diva Hero that much. We got the mask, okay? We should be wearing the mask. I made a video about Master Strict versus like pulling the rug, and I basically said that like against frogs, you should be siding this card instead. Now, granted, people took that video out of context and said, oh, I'm trying to get them to stop playing pulling the rug. I mean, like, guys, I don't care if you play pulling the rug or not. Like, you're not going to beat me because you flipped the rug. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to beat me. Pulling the rug, as I said previously in this video, doesn't hurt Diva Hero as much as you think it does. So I'm just trying to share the wisdom. You can listen or not, but this card is much better against frogs. Now, pulling the rug does have a more diverse profile because you can use it against Diva Hero, you can use it against frogs, you can against Machina. Like, it's definitely more diverse. But if you want to shut down frogs, the decks that are winning, this is your best bet. Like, Diva Hero is not going to win like a major event. Like Machina is not going to win a major event. Like Frogs are. So I'm just trying to say, listen or not, this is a better card against that particular matchup. So next up, with the Floodgates, we got the Double Decree. This completely wrecks Bayou, completely wrecks, any back row dependent deck, Black Wings. It's amazing. So one thing I like about Diva Hero versus other decks is like Diva Hero can like side in Floodgates. So with Black Wings, like you can't really like side in Floodgates, but Diva Hero, all the Floodgates can come out and it doesn't really like hurt them. So Double Decree, great card. The last trap, we have Mind Crush. Every major event that I've topped, I've always had this card somewhere in my deck, whether it's in my main deck or side deck. This is a very strong card. I'm not going to go too much into it because I have a video on my channel about Mind Crush, so check it out if you haven't seen it already. But yeah, Mind Crush, like, excellent card, excellent card. So let's jump to the monsters since we already have the Barbie doll sitting by himself. Also, Floodgate, Consecrated Light. So obviously, against a Blackwing matchup, just Decree Consecrated, like what can they do? They can't do anything. Snowman Eater, also for the Blackwing matchup, also against Hero Beats. Also just a generic water for, Miracle Fusion, great card. We have the Cyber Dragon. We don't have space for 2, we just have space for 1. Fossil Dino, FD, Final Destination. A great card, shuts down a lot of special summon dependent decks, especially that of Dream Frogs and Hero Frogs at the right time. Amaryllis, you said it, what are they going to do? Nothing. Like, this card's amazing. I love my Fossil Dyna. Fossil Dyna and Vanity's Fiend, they're like brothers, in a way. Vanity's Fiend, much harder to summon because you have to tribute summon it. So sometimes that can take away your tempo. But still, if you summon Vanity's Fiend, a lot of times you're going to like win or be in such an advanced position that your opponent can't get out of it. Great card. And the last monster, we got the Crow. Just the one Crow. Crow, a very situational card. I really like it against certain matchups like Bayou Turbo, but I'm not siding in Double Crow because like at the end of the day, Crow's a -1. It's good against Plague, any decks that have Plague Spreader in their deck, good against any decks that have Pot of Avarice in their deck, but everything else, it's fine where it is. And lastly, on to the spells, Soul Release. A lot of people don't believe in this card, but I'm a believer, and I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. But yeah, Soul Release, great card. You have to be wise when you Soul Release. Oftentimes, though, against better players, Soul Release just kind of becomes like a DD Crow. But if you can get your opponent to get a lot of their resources in the graveyard, Soul Release them for 5 and they're out the game. Also, I use this card against Lightsworns because for whatever reason, people love just trying to go to the casino with Lightsworns. So this kind of stops them. Then we have our Vortex. Vortex is mostly in the deck to stop this guy, Vanity's Fiend. So when Vanity's Fiend gets sided against Diva Hero, Diva Hero's in for a bad time. So we have the Vortex. Of course, we could side in cards like Soul Release or Smash and Ground, but Vortex kind of completely wipes the board. And also better against other matchups because like I can stop like cards like the Amaryllis deck, right? So obviously that card doesn't target, so it's really good and can destroy all the tokens as well. And also if I have to, I'll even Vortex a Fossil Dino. And last but not least, we got the Super Poly. Super Poly, like this card, I'm always on the fence about. It doesn't perform as well as I would like it to. And that may be because like of the recent popularity of Dream Frogs. So Dream Frogs obviously doesn't play as many heroes. So I'm always on the fence about this card. When you can resolve it, it does great. But it's not the best if you like have to Super Poly your opponent 0, because then you Super Poly their 0, you make your 0, both boards get wiped because of the effects, and then it's just like you have to pitch a card for it too, and yeah, it's okay, but I think in the future I might just side something else. But anyway, guys, that's the deck profile. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'm happy to bring Diva Hero back. I'm bringing Diva Hero back. And I got some spicy ideas for the next event that I'm going to play in. But anyway, guys, with that, ATrueHero out. Peace. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. I would like to take this time to give a special shout out to my Patreons, Televisual, and Enraged Peacock. For those of you who are looking for exclusive content, please subscribe to my Patreon. The link will be in the description below. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, ATrueHero out. Peace.
Subscribe or you too will be sent to the Shadow Realm.